You got anything else on your mind over there? You got to get off your chest. Because you look like you got stuff to get off your chest.
She always looks like that. That's her podcast face.
That's oh my.
That's the podcast face.
So,
oh boy. It's always bad when it's so.
There it goes. She's about to get normal.
when we get to the airport in Miami, I had done the research. I had found out how are we going to get our 20 pieces of luggage and our 4 big bodies from the airport to the hotel. Well, the hotel offered a free shuttle from the airport to the hotel. I called the number, and the number says the airport shuttle is running.
Stop using the preschool voice. Talk like him. Come on, let's do it. Get in there. Dig in. Let's go.
The number said that the shuttle was running from this time to this time, and it was not working from this time to this time.
You know what's coming, right?
So we sat there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I called 3 times. By the time I got to the 3rd time, I was like, forget this automated crap. I want to speak to a person. So I call and get to the person, and the person says, oh yeah, our service isn't running. I said, but your recording says it's running. And she's like, no, it's not running. You can take a taxi. And I'm like, ma'am, I have 20 pieces of luggage and 4 people.
Now keep in mind, we have already waited
45 minutes.
Because we're watching the other shuttles come around
Literally
at the shuttle stop. So they're coming through
from
and
every
we're
other
waiting,
hotel.
going, okay, that's not ours. That's not ours. Ours got to be around because this one's come around twice now.
Right. This
That's
one's been
what we were
3
doing.
times now.
Anyway, continue.
So she's like, yeah, you can just take a taxi. And I said, we have, 20 pieces of luggage and 4 people. We can't fit that in a taxi. And she's like, okay, well, you can take 2 taxis and we'll pay for it. I said, okay. So I went and asked the taxi people, hey, we need 2 taxis. We need to get all this stuff to a hotel. The next morning, we were in the hotel lobby, and here comes the shuttle that she told me wasn't running because of the pandemic. So then we go to the hotel in Fort Lauderdale. Same situation.
It has no shuttle.
It says it has no shuttle. They tell me when we check in it has no shuttle.
No shuttle.
And the morning that we were leaving with the Ubers, up pulls the free shuttle.
Friggin' empty shuttle.
Empty,
where one dude
gigantic. I mean, big shuttle. Fits many people, lots of luggage space. There was one guy waiting for the shuttle.
Dude jumped out and he's like, you going to the airport? I was like, yeah, but we had just gotten an Uber. And he's like, they didn't tell you about this? I'm like, no.
No, they told us you weren't here. Then he was actually angry that he had to go and make the drive for one person when he could have
had 5 people and
all that luggage. I don't know how they get paid, but he probably makes the drive no matter what.
Right.
But the idea is I'm driving like no one.
Yeah,
essentially.
He was upset with the hotel just like we were. He was like, what was the point of this?
Yep. And even the guy that did take it, he did not know about it until he was leaving.
Right. He was standing there next to us.
They told him when he was leaving that there was a shuttle.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he booked that place and knew there was a shuttle because he didn't know either.
Yeah, and I specifically asked.
So maybe they just didn't like you because you were from Michigan.
Called, when I booked it, I actually called them and said, hey, do you have a shuttle? And she's like, no, it's not running because of the pandemic.
The pandemic.
Well, that was a lie.
This is the summer of the pandemic.
So
which is no summer at all.
We got the Ubers from the airport and went to the thing. Yeah. It is weird that we can speak to the Uber drivers. Like we can.
Yeah, we haven't really done that. Like other places, the Uber drivers don't
generally speak English.
Right.
In Mexico, every day I went to and from work in an Uber. I may have had 3 or 4 drivers the whole time that could speak English.
I had 1 the whole time we were in Pueblo. 1.
There was
We had
one.
a nice conversation.
There was one who he was just an asshole. The first time I had him, he was just really rude. And then the second time I had him, I said something to him, trying to tell him where to go in Spanish. And he said, okay, I understand, in perfect English. I was like, you douchebag.
Douche.
This whole time you spoke English and you're making me try to speak Spanish, knowing that I can't do it very well. And when I left, I was like, have a good day. And he's like, you too, ma'am. Have a great day. Enjoy your day with the kids. And I was like, you fucking fucker. Makes me angry.
So, yeah, here you can walk out of the airport and talk to people and arrange to get yourself from here to there, which is interesting, and talk about the news of the day with, you know, a security guard, and you can, it's kind of it's very and I went through this a little bit before, because when I came back with the kids, it was my first time back.
Your culture shock.
And it was
now this was
like walking around
shock.
Kohl's,
yeah,
and hearing people talking and understanding every word, and that seems to freak us out.
You realizing how entitled Americans
Oh,
really
I had
are.
always realized that, but
But it
hear it.
hit you like way harder.
Yeah,
You know what it hit me was when we were in the hotel in Miami, and the lady for the breakfast had told these young men behind us, you're the last. If anyone comes, please tell them that it's closed. You're the last ones. Because they were already past the closing time. And these 4 ladies came up, and the boys didn't really want to say anything because they were not very nice ladies. And then here came a bunch of kids with the ladies. And the woman behind the counter comes and she says to them, I'm sorry, you can have anything that's on the counter already, but the hot food is closed. These boys were the last ones. And they just went crazy. Cussing and yelling and slamming and stomping and insisting that they get food and they've already paid for this. But they were very clear about the times. And they even stayed open a little bit later, but you were still later than that. There are rules for a reason, ma'am.
There are rules.
And I just watched this exchange, and I was like, gosh, I don't miss this shit. And then the same women had a problem with the girls at the counter, and I'm not sure what it was, but she was still yelling and fussing and making a big scene.
Yep.
If I learned anything in Asia, that's not really how you solve a problem.
Yeah, I thought it was also quite interesting how everybody kept remarking, "You guys are so calm."
Yeah.
Like when we were in the airport, "You guys are so calm. If it was me, I'd be flipping out or I'd be doing this," and it's just like, yeah, but if you're like, we were talking to people from Canadian Air, right?
Yeah.
So they were speaking English just like we were. But they couldn't understand why we were so calm either. They couldn't understand, like, why are they handling this situation like this? Because no Americans would ever handle this situation
The agents are like, this is the most stressful thing I've dealt with so far, and you guys are just taking it so calmly. And yeah, but what is throwing a fit at you gonna do? You can't do anything differently than what you're doing. You're really trying to help us.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. Most people's reactions are going to escalate and keep getting more and more negative, whereas we kind of we stayed the same.
Yeah.
We just kind of had this level, and we never went above it or below it. We just were trying to work the problem and trying to, find out what we can find out and help the people help us. Because they were trying to do something on their end. And even when the manager, gets on the phone with Expedia, and she was way more irate with them than we were, because she knew what they knew. And so she was like, why are you even doing this? Like, why are you putting these people through this when you know what they went through? You know, you're watching it happen in real time, just like we are. You can see the same information that we're seeing. Stop acting like they weren't here, or they missed their flight, or they stop trying to do that, because I'm standing right here with them. They were first in line. I mean, everything was supposed to go smooth, but these other external things happened.
Right.
You know, and you know, they were, I think, a lot of what we've been through in China, especially China, in Thailand, none of that, I mean, none of how being American to solve problems helps in those worlds.
No.
It doesn't, it always works against you.
Yeah.
So,
and we've seen that time and time again, where Americans lose their shit and then they
don't get what they need, and they go off angry, and then they have more problems and everything else. Especially when you're dealing with either immigration. I mean, the one thing that pissed me off in immigration, I was good through the whole process. I finished the whole process. I am sitting there with Keegan because she's like half fallen asleep.
Half?
She was still awake when I was over there, and I'm sitting there with her, and then all of a sudden, this guy out of the corner, who was apparently doing paperwork, walks over, and he talks to the two people about me sitting there, and then they turn around and say, "You can't sit there." And it's like, okay, but I'm just sitting with my daughter because she's a minor, and I'm just staying here with her. And they were like, "No, you can't sit there. You can't be here. You're done. You have to go." And it was like, but there's no one in here. It's not like people are waiting for seats. She's just sitting there. She's not doing anything. So either if the policy was she can't be here, then both of us should have been told to leave.
Yeah, but she had to be in there because I was doing her papers.
But she didn't have to be in there. You know what I mean? There was no reason for her to be in there. But she was sitting there essentially watching bags.
Yeah.
And then, so they made me leave. And which made no sense. It's like, you've got other parents in here with their children that are minors. Why are you not making one of them leave?
Well, it
makes no sense.
They tried to have Keegan go in on her own. And I was like, no. They said, yes, she can go. And I said, no, she's 16. She cannot go alone. She has to have me. And they're like, oh.
But they wouldn't know that looking at her. There was nothing about Keegan says minor or adult.
Right. And I made a fuss like, no, you can't. She can't go and do that.
My thing is having, taking that action when they didn't need to do anything. There was no reason for anything to change. It was just some asshole sitting in the corner punching papers, that just felt like getting up, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found the picture.
You took a picture of the paper?
Yeah, because the paper is in a tub in Mexico. The podcast tub with the sign.
Add something to it.
I gotta find a way to put the sign up somewhere because
we don't have a green screen.
We don't need a green screen.
You have
I could just place it. It might have been up there the whole time.
One?
Yeah. I have a picture of it.
You have the Farrs up in the closet.
Yeah, that one's up there. I thought about trying to take it, but I don't want it to snap in half like in a piece of luggage.
You'd have to.
Because the wood is not super.
And it's heavy.
It's not heavy. See, if it was heavy, I'd be okay with trying to take it because it would be strong enough in a suitcase. But it's so light that I think it's going to snap in half. Maybe. Wrap it in the coat.
Or tuck it in the coat.
Because it's got the music.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one other thing. We had a big yard sale.
I think it's just like lightning just hits his head.
Well, I'm looking at the garage and then I remember what
you're looking at all the trash.
Yeah, I'm just remembering now.
So yeah,
we did that.
We'll talk more about selling stuff.
It's like a 4-day long
Keep watching Karen though, because she's been posting stuff to sell. If we find it and we don't want to keep it, we're gonna sell it. So
yep.
Watch her.
And with any of the bags, jewelry, or any of that type, it can be shipped worldwide.
Worldwide.
You just tell me, and I'll tell where you are, and I'll tell you what the shipping cost is.
Yup. All right. If you want to follow the Traveling Farrs, you can find us at the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere awesome podcasts are sold. FYI, we are now on Pandora.
Nice.
Really? And apparently on satellite radio? She found out what we were
Yeah,
here?
we're on, what did I tell you, FM? Something FM, and that means that we're on one of the satellite channels.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just because we're on that FM thing. Anyway.
Found that out earlier.
We're also, so if you want to find us on all those places, the Traveling Farrs. If you like the Instagram or the Twitters, Traveling Farrs. If you are into that email still,
I check them.
travelingfars@gmail.com, and the blog space, thetravelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the Blueberry virtual paper. It's so awesome.
And don't forget to check out Farr's Fashions on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
That's our...
We're sponsored this week by Farr's Fashions.
We're sponsored by us.
We're always sponsored by us.
Yeah.
But we do have the, what's the thing?
Patreon?
We have
a
the
Patreon.
Patreon that he's supposed to remember to tell you about.
Patreon.com/thetravelingfars.
See, he's supposed to do that.
We also have a GoFundMe.
And we have the GoFundMe.
Give us your money.
So the GoFundMe is helping us try to alleviate some of the problems of being stuck
With no money and no
and
jobs.
getting us and all of our stuff to the Poland Man land once it opens up and we can go. So we appreciate everybody who's been giving to the GoFundMe. I'm going to throw a thing up. It's going to roll on the screens.
All the people that have given
to the GoFundMe. And if you want to be anonymous, that's fine. We'll just put all the anonymous people into one big lump. It'll just be anonymous. And if you're anonymous, you know who you are. So, GoFundMe, Patreon. If you just want to, send us money, I'm sure we can,
Give us money.
just DM us because,
Give us money.
We'll
take it.
We'll take it. And
We'll
we'll
take all
use
your
it.
money.
Because now we're going to need lots of podcast equipment. Cowboy Studio's gone.
Yeah, but
I mean, we're gonna have to revamp the whole studio situation. So, and I gotta get a new monitor.
and we gotta pay for the additions of whatever it's gonna cost us for the tickets.
Because I'm sure things are gonna go up once they do open up. So, all right, we're out of here. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people.
Say goodbye to the people. Peace. 2 fingers.